Good morning, Genesis.
Good morning.
Good morning. Here we are at Genesis Center for Spiritual Living. Will you please stand up and join us for our opening song?
I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. Oh, yeah. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. Welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. It just keeps going and going. We'll save you from that.
And so do we. We just keep going and going. And Welcome, Genesis family. I'm really happy to see you all here this morning, this really cold morning. Actually, it's just a little hint at things to come, and we're ready. My name is Karen Williams, and I'm a practitioner here at Genesis Center for Spiritual Living, and I'm really happy that you are here. I'm happy for you who are online for coming in and joining us. If this is your first time, please send a note to Eric. He is monitoring our online chat bot, and he is our chat bot. Right? Well, so please tell him your name and how you found us. And if you are a regular, if you're part of our family, please say hi. We would love to know that you are here with us. That's a message. Somebody's on it. Okay, great. So first thing that we do is we read our mission and our vision statements. So will you please join me in reading our mission and vision? For our mission, we are building a vibrant community, cultivating a garden of spiritual growth, honoring vulnerability, creating a safe place of comfort and peace, where all are welcome and accepted. Our vision. Genesis is a bright beacon with an unshakable heart of love, accepting all. It's a home for the soul where we each creatively express our spiritual brilliance. That sounds great. That sounds really great. So I'm going to move right into our announcements. After service today, time flies. Every fourth Sunday is our Reclaiming Joy After Loss. This is facilitated by our practitioner Cynthia Zink and our practitioner emeritus Diane Dyer. It's hosted via Zoom from 12 to 1:30. And so if you want to find that link, you can go to our website. It's on our Facebook page. It's in Eventbrite, I believe, and also in Meetup. So you can find us. A coming soon announcement is our winter class. Our winter class is facilitated by Cynthia Zink, our practitioner. It's called Power of Your Word. And this class begins January 18th and runs through March 7. Is that 8 weeks? Okay, good to know. From 6:30 to 9:30, and that is also via Zoom. This experiential course teaches the fundamentals of prayer. You will learn why life-affirming prayer is answered and how it is answered. You'll learn how to pray effectively and become aware of how you limit and interrupt your own prayers. When you complete this class, you'll have new prayer tools with which you can work. Registration is now open online. Visit our website at genesiscsl.org and click on Learning Opportunities. We are filling that Learning Opportunities tab up, so please take a look in there whenever you get the opportunity. For any information, if you're on site or if you have her website or her email address, there you go. Email address, you can just reach out to Cynthia Zink for any information on that. We also have flyers on the table here if you like to have a hard copy so that you can pin up on your board so that you know what you're doing, in case you're not really great at having a calendar like some of us. I'm not going to name names. As we approach the final stretch of the year, there's still time to reflect on your pledges that bless and support your spiritual community. At Genesis Center for Spiritual Living, we encourage you to think about contributing to our continued growth and well-being by recommitting to a pledge into the years to come. We are immensely grateful and reliant on your generosity. Together we build this community. Together we build this community. A community that thrives on connection, oneness, spiritual fulfillment, and mutual support. You can find your pledge opportunities on our website. Is that correct? Yes. I'm just looking for confirmation, just making sure.
Yes. Yes.
Awesome. The answer is yes. We have a book study that we're doing. We are continuing with the Universal Christ. Just want to confirm that the slide was there. Good job, Gideon. So we meet for an hour from 12 to 1, and we just read together, and we go deeper. And I do want to say, because I see Beth here, that like the daily readings, this isn't something that you have to follow along page for page with. I'm going to be honest. I'm sitting here. I brought this book to us, and I'm facilitating. And there are chapters that I have not read. There are pages that I have not read. But that does not keep me from just getting in a group, having an opportunity to dig into what is right here in front of me right now. And so I want to remind us that that is an option that is available for this book study. You don't have to have read anything in order to just drop in and you could just listen even if you don't have the book and be part of that discussion and part of that energy and vibration. That also goes for the Science of Mind textbook for a year. If you have not read any of the daily readings all year long, it doesn't mean that you can't drop in and read the daily reading for today. Or tomorrow, or on December 31st. You know, it's just an opportunity to have some more inspiration and an opportunity to contemplate what it is that we're doing here and how we're doing it. So that was, I jumped ahead to the Science of Mind textbook for a year, for those of you who are running the slides in the back. Our intention circle is Cynthia Zink and myself facilitate an every Wednesday intention circle. We've been doing this for 2 years. And I think it'll probably be our last year. I think we're going to open up Wednesdays for more learning opportunities and more expanded opportunities for workshops and other classes So please come and join us, though, to set your intention for the coming year at least, and we'll probably have some more opportunities to do things like that in January, you know, setting your intentions for the year and whatnot. Okay, the last thing that I have is a little, did I get everything? Yes, I did. We're busy. So there are some stickers over here. It's a little rainbow. It's our teaching symbol. And it's something that you can put, you know how people do with their water bottles or their laptops or their, oh, thank you, you're the best. So they're kind of rainbow. I don't know if you can get that from where we're at, but they're 2 sizes. And if you want to make a donation, take 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, get stocking stuffers, just make a donation. And those funds are going to go towards whatever it is that we're doing to help support and build this community. So that was it for announcements. Thank you for that. Yeah. That was great. I love them. I love our teaching symbol. And I love when people ask, what is that? Get several. And people ask you, what is that? And you can tell them all about it in a most loving and open-hearted way. This is our opportunity right now. I've been talking about this great community. It's an opportunity for us who are in-house to stand up and greet each other. So please, let's have that. Meet and greet. Maybe take 2 minutes.
Well, good morning.
Oh, that's right. I've got you Australian.
Yeah. Keeps looking over to you and whining there.
Well, is this one better right here?
No, this is actually great.
Okay.
Assuming you're standing up.
Yeah, that's this one. This is a side position.
First half.
I'm Charles.
I'm Bart. Nice to meet you.
Glad to meet you.
It's Sorsha. This is your second time here. Bart.
What? Hi, Charles. How are you? I'm sending it.
They must be on their list or something.
No, keep your time. No, he likes to play. So how's Tammy doing?
Pretty much.
Oh, I know that.
Well, she wanted to. Well, it's
Thanks, Sarah.
one of the names. Well, Guy Cross.
Oh, yeah, every street has something bad everywhere. Mine is, they did next door. The guy
Oh, you got
yeah. Oh, he's nuts. He is sick until he's sick. He's not stable mentally. Oh, he's been harassing her?
No, well.
Causing problems? He does.
She's an empath.
Yeah. Yeah, right. I know. He's not a good guy. I was
All right. All right, gosh, it's great to be together. For those of you online, come on in. Really, it's great to be together. We look forward to actually seeing you.
Help make it warmer.
Yes. More bodies, increasing the temperature. So I want to thank our volunteers for whom Genesis runs by our volunteers, for whom they're the ones who make the difference. They're the ones who make this happen. There are always opportunities for any of us to participate as a volunteer on any level. So if you're interested, you can speak with any of us, really. Gideon, Cynthia, Reverend James, myself. There's plenty of us to talk to about volunteer opportunities. Today, our volunteers for setup and cleanup have been Gideon, Eric, Chris has helped quite a bit, Cal and Reverend Rose. Our morning greeter is Cynthia. On the projector and video in the back is Mike and Eric. Our offering collection is being done by Gideon. Our sound tech is Cal, who's doing extra duty today. Bless his heart. Our online host is Eric. Say hi to him. If you haven't heard my spiel already, let him know you're here. We want to know that you're here with us. Our service practitioner today is Randy Singer, and our musician, our singer, is Chris Sullivan. Couldn't do it without you. Couldn't do it without you. So thank you. As I said, our practitioner today is Randy Singer. After service, you can meet with Randy, and we have created a little alcove situation over here for some privacy for prayer. Prayer can be anything. It could be just a moment of gratitude. It could be a very focused and intentional, I need something. It could be anything. And it's just really quick, kind of an introduction into what prayer is and how that feels. So I'm done with all of the announcements, and we are ready to move into that deeper part of our service where we receive. So we're going to begin that with our centering song. Chris?
Okay, several of the songs today are going to be a cappella, so just be ready for that. This song is going to be a cappella as well.
Awesome.
I will sing it through once, and then you guys can join along.
Awesome.
I breathe and turn within. I breathe and turn within. I open up my heart and feel God's presence. I breathe and turn within. I breathe and turn within. I open up my heart and feel God's love. I breathe. I breathe and turn within. I breathe and turn within. I open up my heart and feel God's presence. I breathe and turn within. I breathe and turn within. I open up my heart and feel God's love. I pray. I pray and turn within. I pray and turn within. I open up my heart and feel God's presence. I pray and turn within. I pray and turn within. I open up my heart and feel God's love. I pray. I pray and turn within. I pray and turn within. I open up my heart and feel God's presence. I pray and turn within. I pray and turn within. I open up my heart and feel God's love. I sing. I sing and God's presence. I sing and turn within. I sing and turn within. I open up my heart and feel God's love. I open up my heart and feel God's love. I open up my heart and feel God's love.
All right. Hello. My name is Randy Singer. I'm a practitioner here, and I will be doing an inspirational reading, and then we'll go into a prayer. So today, again, we got Living the Science of Mind by Ernest Holmes. And I will be reading from page 56, What the Mystics Have Taught. To begin with, the mystics have taught a perennial philosophy, which means that the deep spiritual thinkers of every age have arrived at certain conclusion independently of each other, and we may be certain that in the main their conclusions were correct. Need more commas. The great spiritual seers of the ages have taught that man is on the pathway of an eternal evolution, the purpose of which is to produce individual everything that is inherent in the nature of the divine, to feel back to this fundamental unity, to commune with it, to experience the beneficence of its presence, recognized and understood, is what is meant by mysticism. Beneficence. It would be impossible in the space at our disposal to use exhaustive quotations from the mystics, but you will find a thread of continuity running through all of them. You will discover that they all arrived at approximately the same conclusions. It is worthy of note that throughout all of their teachings, evil as a thing in itself disappears and becomes lack of knowledge of truth. The theological concept of hell, the morbid teachings of the afterlife are missing from the teachings of the inspired, because they know that we are all in the process of evolution and that finally everyone will arrive at the same place. God is incarnated in all. I think we'll leave it there. So let's go into prayer. I know that right here and right now that I'm inviting you in, that we are in this perfect place, this perfect space where we are all incarnated as that perfect life, that perfect presence, that perfect wisdom, and that it is a matter of fate that we are all ending up in this place, and we never left this place. We're all always there. We were, we are, and we will be always connected to that one life, and we at every moment it is available. It's a matter of waking up, turning our head, or just allowing that presence to show up right here and right now, and it is good. And so I say, thank you, God, and so it is.
So it is.
And so I think we're going to do a little more song.
Shake off. Don't lose your way with each passing day. You've come so far. Don't throw it away. Live believing. Dreams of a living. Wonders awaiting to start. must learn how to bend, seek out a star, hold on to the end. Valley, mountain, there is a fountain, washes our tears all away. Waves are swaying, someone is praying, please let them come home to stay. If we hold on together, I know our dreams will never die. Dreams see us through to forever, where clouds roll by. For you and I, when we are there in the dark, we'll dream about the sun. In the dark, we'll feel the light warm our hearts, everyone. If we hold on together, I know our dreams will never die. Dreams see us through to forever, as high as souls can fly. The clouds roll by for you and I.
That's amazing. Thank you, Chris. Oh my. That's right. Yeah, it's captivation. When we're captivated by beauty, that increases in us our potential for love and tenderness. And so this is one thing we have a lot of beauty here that we can be captivated by. So I always find interesting things on my drive here. Today was the Seattle Marathon. And so I was driving down the highway. I think I saw somewhere between 700 and 1,000 runners. I have so many runners. There was a slow batch, that's where I would have been. And then there were a whole bunch of people in the middle, and then there were the fast people. But it was just amazing to see so many people out on the road in the middle, of a crisp late fall morning, and it was captivating too, in a very different way, to see the power. But it's the power of community. It's the power of people getting together. When my daughter and I used to sign up for all the races, and so we'd run the races, and you'd get an energy, and you'd meet people who you only saw at races, and especially I'd see my fellow barefoot runners. There were not very many of us, and we're easy to spot. So that it harkened me back to those days. Today, our one sentence affirmation: every aspect of life is a sacred expression of spirit. Let's say that together a couple of times. Every aspect of life is a sacred expression of spirit. One more time. Every aspect of life is a sacred expression of spirit. So thank you. I think I've got several stories today, but they all relate to that, how we can build community by noticing the sacred aspect of life. And my stories actually are not necessarily ones you'd expect to see, in a gratitude month and in seeing the sacred, but we'll see people see the sacred in different ways. I'm going to start off. We have a little more Jason and the Argonauts. Jason and the Argonauts actually find the way to the underworld today, and so we'll find out a little bit about that. And we have a couple of other people who go to the underworld. Friday, December 1st, this week, is Rosa Parks Day. And Rosa Parks is somebody we all know, and so we'll find out a little more about her story that you may or may not have heard. And then I'm going to talk about Mary Baker Eddy. And I know Reverend Eric Odell talked about Mary Baker Eddy not long ago. And I think I have a different perspective on Mary Baker Eddy. And so you can see, it's nice, you can't really sum up so influential a person's 90 years of their entire life in 15 minutes of a talk. So we'll get, like the blind people and the elephant, we'll get to see different aspects of Mary Baker Eddy. And so let's start with Jason and the Argonauts. So Jason and the Argonauts, there were actual people about 4,000 years ago who, got together for a journey to go to the end of the world and find the golden fleece and bring it back. Jason was the prince, but his father had been pushed out of the way by his uncle, King Peleus. And King Peleus wanted to kill Jason, but decided to send him to the end of the world, to the Golden Fleece, because he knew he wouldn't come back. And has he had a lot of adventures. But at the end of the world, he got the Golden Fleece, so he got his destination, sort of the divine consciousness. And then he also unexpectedly fell in love with Medea, the divine feminine, and he has a very powerful divine feminine, without whom he would never have made it so far. So he really is leaning on his divine feminine. In today's adventure, though, as they come back from their latest adventure, he's finding that he doesn't know how to use the Golden Fleece. And so this is something I find with us. A lot of us have found, you're meditating, or you're just in the middle of an art museum or running, or something happens and you achieve cosmic consciousness. You're one with everything, and you know that you are it and it is you. And I think that's the Golden Fleece for Jason. And I was like, and now what? What do I do with it? And Phrixus is the gentleman who rode the sheep that had the Golden Fleece and sacrificed the sheep to the gods, which made its fleece golden. And so Jason decides, let's go down to the underworld, because Phrixus has been dead for many years, and talk to him about, how do I use this Golden Fleece? And you'll remember Phineas was somebody who they rescued. Phineas is the guy who knows everything. And he'll tell you all about it. He wants to make sure you know too. And he's really smart if you're willing to pay attention to him. They rescued him from the Harpies because he was so busy knowing everything, he couldn't be in the moment. And so he was starving. But once they got him on the ship, he joined their company, and he was actually much healthier once he got to be part of their company, and he didn't have to impress anybody. He just got to be the guy who knew everything. And he told Jason, hey, I know the way to the underworld, so you can go and find Phrixus, and he'll tell you all about the Golden Fleece. And so they went. They took the Argo and they sailed to the underworld, and they found Phrixus and found out how to use the Golden Fleece. And the reason in ancient Greek myths, in actually all ancient Middle Eastern myths, the underworld represents wisdom, wisdom and wealth, wealth of knowledge. Pluto, you know, you've heard of plutocrats. Plutocrats are very wealthy people, and Pluto rules the underworld. And so this is where, so sometimes, I mean, nobody wants to go to the underworld. Nobody wants to, like, you know, we want our lives to be happy. But sometimes we need to go to the underworld to figure out how to use the golden fleece. And that is actually where we're going to leave Jason and the Argonauts in the underworld, learning how to use the golden fleece. But I want to explain, you know, Ernest Holmes did not come by all his knowledge in a flash. He had some insights, but he studied. He studied Christian Scientists. He studied Emma Curtis Hopkins. He spent an entire year doing nothing but studying Emma Curtis Hopkins. And so I think, you know, well, that isn't sort of a bad underworld. That is his studying and his learning. This is one of the reasons I'm so excited that we have, you know, so many practitioners offering so many classes. We all have the opportunity to learn more and to know how to use our golden fleece, how to bring it more into our lives. So now let's move into Rosa Parks. So Rosa Parks Day is Friday, and the story I heard when I was in school many years ago was Rosa Parks was an elderly seamstress, and she was coming home and got on the bus and sat in her seat, and then she was told to get out of her seat so that white people could sit there. And she said, "My feet were tired. I just didn't want to do it, and so I refused." And then sort of magically, the Montgomery bus boycott started, and the whole civil rights movement started, all because Rosa Parks was too tired to give up her seat to, you know, because of her race. And what Rosa says is that my feet were not tired. My soul was tired of being told that I was not as good a human being and that none of my people were as good a human being as these other people, just through accident of birth. Rosa Parks, actually, she was born in 1921. The bus incident, no, wrong year. I don't know where. Rosa Parks was probably born around 1900, given how old she was in 1955. But Rosa Parks, in the Great, you know, she was always an activist. Her grandmother, who had been an enslaved person, said, "I was always worried that Rosa would be lynched before she grew up because she never started a fight, but she never backed away from a fight either." A friend of hers said, you know, do not get in Rosa Parks' way. She is going to make sure things happen. And she joined the NAACP, so she found a like-minded community where they could work for equality. They could work to prevent some of the oppression. Law enforcement officials didn't keep track of lynchings back in those days, and Rosa Parks did. She'd went and interviewed people and wrote up articles and made sure that there was a record. We were keeping track of all the awfulness that was happening. And so when Rosa Parks went on the bus and could not get off the seat, she was well connected. Everybody knew Rosa Parks. You know, Martin Luther King Jr., you know, probably said, "Rosa, of course." Yeah. Actually, the story, they were looking for a person to start the Montgomery bus boycott with, but the first person who objected to the bus was actually, she was an alcoholic. Her life wasn't very good. She really was not somebody who could be the center of this, and Rosa really was. Rosa had led an exemplary life and had, you know, she had the spirit. You know, when I say, you know, every aspect of life is a sacred expression of spirit, I don't think Rosa felt like being asked to move out of her seat because she was considered to be a lesser human being was a sacred expression of spirit. But she had a sacred expression of spirit in her. And she could ignite the sacred expression of spirit in everybody else around her to boycott for justice. You know, I don't say fight because they were nonviolent. But they could decide not to get on the buses, and then the bus company didn't have enough money to operate, and the whole civil rights movement began. So this is something, she said, there were times when it would have been so easy to fall apart or to go in the opposite direction, but somehow I felt if I took one more step, someone would come along to join me. And they did. Thousands and thousands of people came along and joined her. And while our world is so far from perfect, and yet look at all the steps that we've made since 1955. It's so much better, you know, thank you, Rosa Parks. I want to, at this point, have us do some 5-element Tai Chi. I think to have us see how we can move through the God centers in our body, and also sort of like, let's stand up so you don't fall asleep in your seats. So tell me if I just want to make sure everybody can hear me since I'm stepping away from the mic. Okay, so we've done this before, but not for a while. And this is, you know, the sacred energy of spirit starts in the spiritual womb. And we get an idea, and we get enthusiastic, and it sort of burns. It burns like fire. And then it shoots out into when it can no longer be contained. And then the water comes and takes and absorbs the message, and absorbs the spirit, and absorbs the energy, and brings it down through us into the ground, where it transforms the earth. And we pull it up, transformed through the earth. We pull up all the energy, we pull up the divine energy until we grow. And we grow out, branch out, and then we look at the transformed world. We see the world, we see all the wonders in the world. We see the world with new eyes. And anything we're fascinated with, anything we're captivated with, we study it, we find out more about it, we take it in, we learn about it, and we practice it until it is a part of us. And then anything we no longer need, we release. And then we embrace the tiger that is in our life so far, cuddly and fierce, and we return to the mountaintop where we've never left. And then one more idea. Here's a new divine idea starting in our spiritual womb, and it flames and it burns and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger until it bursts forth into the world. And then the world comes and takes, and water comes into it, and it transforms the water, and the water brings it through our body, brings it into the earth, brings it down into the ground, and then we pull it up, the transformed earth, our transformed energy, and it comes up into us, through us, and we grow and branch out, and then we look at the world. We look at the world with our new transformed eyes. We see all the wonder, all the joy, all the captivation, and then we make it a part of us. We learn about it. We find out about it. We study. We talk to people. And then we practice and we practice until we make it a part of us. And then anything we no longer need, we release. And then we embrace the tiger that is our life so far, cuddly and fierce. And we return to the mountaintop, that field beyond ideas of right doing and wrong doing, where we've never left. Last time. Here's another idea. It's getting fiercer and fiercer and fiercer until it bursts forth. And then the water comes and takes and grabs that idea, grabs that energy, and runs it through us into the ground, and we pull it up. We pull up the transformed earth. We pull up the transformed energy. And then we grow and branch out. And then we look at the new world, and we find out what are we interested in? What are we led to do? And then we learn it. We talk to people. We study it. We practice it until we make it a part of us. Anything we no longer need, we release. And then we embrace the tiger that is our life so far, cuddly and fierce. And we return to the mountaintop where we've really never left. So that is, I think, Mary Baker Eddy had an idea. Before the Montgomery bus boycott, it wasn't an accident. It didn't go exactly according to plan, but it just didn't seem right. You know, it was bad enough having these seats are the colored seats and these seats are the white seats, but if the white seats fill up, then the people adjacent to the white areas need to get up, and that was one step too far. So, but in the end, it caused a huge positive difference in the world and a huge transformation. Mary Baker Eddy. Mary Baker Eddy was, it's funny, I want to call her a willful woman, but that sounds like an insult. Mary Baker Eddy was a very powerful woman, and she had clear visions of what she wanted the world to be. Her father was a preacher. He was a fire and brimstone preacher, and he knew that, you know, God was going to come and make things right. And he was a Copperhead, which is what they called Confederate supporters in the North during the Civil War. Oh, that's who was born in 1821 was when Mary Baker Eddy was born. I knew that number came from somewhere. So she was used to having a very passionate, defiant father who brought her up and taught her, you know the will of God. You know, she could feel the God. She knew the God within her. She was bright at school. But when she finished elementary school, her family had no money to be able to afford to send her to further education. But the church got together. They said, Mary, you know, she is so brilliant. We need to educate her. And so they paid her tuition so she could complete her schooling. She ended up getting married to her older brother's best friend, and when she was pregnant with her first child, he died of yellow fever. And in those days, it turns out that the parents of the husband had more rights than the mother of the child. And so her in-laws took the child away from her. And she had no recourse. Well, her recourse was she lived nearby the child, so she could visit him every day. But then at some point they thought that she was a bad influence because he liked her too much. Sorry, it's not funny. And so he moved several states away, and they sort of lost track of each other. She ended up having a litany of maladies. She was like not healthy, you know, not particularly healthy many days of her life. She was always getting sick and always getting sicker. She married a dentist, so he at least had an income where they could send her to different healers. And the one healer who made a little bit of a difference was Phineas B. Quimby. How many of you guys have probably heard of Phineas B. Quimby? He was an animal magnetism guy. He said, I have animal magnetism. People come near me and the magnetism from my cells will make their bodies healthy. And when she went to him, she'd be healthy, you know, she would feel fine like right in the session and for a little while afterwards, but it never lasted. It was as soon as she was out of his presence, out of his animal magnetism, she just went back to her old self. Then her new husband was tasked by the union to go down south and actually I think he went to South Carolina and try to rouse up a spy network, rouse up people against the Confederacy. But he got caught and thrown in a prisoner of war camp. And so Mary Baker Eddy then was writing letters to the Southern governors and to the president and to the Department of State and to different state governors to try to free him. But her letters, you know, she knew what she wanted, but it wasn't working. Eventually, he escaped. So her wish came true, just in a different way than she wanted. He escaped from the prison camp and came back. And then, you know, it was like an awful and wonderful thing happened. She was walking on the icy streets, and she fell down and she injured her back in such a way that she could not get up. She was stuck in bed and in constant agony. And Quimby actually would come to her house to do healing sessions with her, and it would heal her for a little while, but then she'd get bad again. And one day she opened the Bible and she read it. And she, sorry, I want to get her exact words. As I read, the healing truth dawned upon my sense, and she arose. She was better. Life in and of spirit, this life being the sole reality of existence. I gained the scientific certainty that all causation was divine mind and every effect a mental phenomena. So she was suddenly not only, it was her revelation. She suddenly saw the world in a different way. She found her golden fleece. It took her 2 years to be able to reliably to teach other people how to do this, to be able to heal other people and to teach other people how to do it. And then she was on fire. She started the Massachusetts Institute of Metaphysics, which ended up having 800 graduates. She started the Christian Science Church, which had, I think, close to 1 million people, in its heyday. Emma Curtis Hopkins. Emma Curtis Hopkins was one of her most powerful lieutenants, who was editing the different journals for her. She lost Emma Curtis Hopkins because Emma Curtis Hopkins thought it'd be interesting to write about Hinduism too and other religions, not just Christianity. And Mary Baker Eddy said, no, 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 no. See, the US is a Christian country. We're tied to Christianity. This is our whole gig, is Christianity. And Emma Curtis Hopkins was like, I don't think so. And so she went off, and that Mary Baker Eddy continued to be successful, but it was nice. She threw off. Emily Cady was another person she threw off. Charles and Myrtle Fillmore also were Christian scientists in their early years before they formed their own church. And so she had a huge influence. She really transformed the world and made the world into a much better place, that we get to be here because of what Mary Baker Eddy did. I know if you talk to a Christian science, Mary Baker Eddy is like, I formed it all out of whole cloth. And I know, at least in Unity, my mother always said, well, was there a Phineas B. Quimby or not? And Mary Baker Eddy doesn't deny there was Phineas B. Quimby, but she wasn't teaching people animal magnetism. She was teaching people that God is within them and that they can find God within them. And as God, as the power of God comes in us, we can heal ourselves, we can prosper ourselves, we can create a beloved community. And so this is Mary Baker Eddy's message. It's interesting that she spent the first 45 years of her life, she spent in sort of suffering. She knew how she wanted the world to be, but she couldn't make it be like that. And then her revelation, I think what happened in her revelation is she added love. She knew she got her golden fleece. She knew that she had, that we were all God. But she also, her father might have known that, who knows? He had such an angry God. Maybe it was, No, I have fundamentalist cousins, and the thing we found out with my fundamentalist cousins right away is that we all have God right here, and we know God is present always with us right now. As to what God thinks of other people, this is not something subject to our discussion. We'll leave that to God. But we know, so this is something, a way I think she could stay on good terms with her father, is she knew that was true with her father, with herself, and she taught that message. So will and love, and I think that Rosa Parker. Rosa Parks had, Martin Luther King Jr. talked about a beloved community, a community where we're mutually supporting, where everybody loves each other. To me, this church really seems very close to an instance of that. And we're evolving. We are growing and evolving. we're teaching more classes. You know, we are financially in the black. We're doing very well. And I really appreciate, you know, people have pledged their funds to support the church, and I appreciate it. You can find on the website an opportunity to make your pledge for next year, and, you know, to continue for 2023. Eventually we'll have physical cards if people want them, or you could even use, we've got our Genesis prayer cards. You can fill in, you know, however, you know, the church is us, it's all of us. It's a cooperative church. It's not the sage on the stage. It is, you know, it's a bunch of us working together to channel spirit into our community, to create beauty, to create music, to create services, to, you know, every day we're improving. You know, I was excited to come in, and Mike told me about, we have improved lighting now, because in the winter it's not quite as bright as it is in the summer, so you need a little better lighting in order for people at home to see what's going on. So I appreciate that everybody is always looking for the improvements in everything. We have upcoming, that's right, we already had the announcements of what's upcoming. We do have, you know, whole Advent Christmas sermons coming up. In 2 weeks, I'm going to do a sermon on It's a Wonderful Life. And luckily at Northern Lights, they're going to show the movie It's a Wonderful Life. If you want to watch it in community, it's on Zoom and in person. And Gideon will send out the Zoom link. We'll send out all the reminders. But this, you know, this is us for Christmas. You know, America treats Christmas as both a spiritual and a secular holiday. And I think for us in New Thought, Christmas is about the Christ is reborn in us. You know, it's the opportunity to get back to the creation, to get back to our beginnings, to get back to see the world with new eyes, to see the world afresh. And so that's what we're coming up to in the next season. This season, I want to do a short meditation, medium-length meditation, before we end on every aspect of life as a sacred expression of spirit. So let's just allow ourselves to get ready for meditation. It can help sometimes it helps if you tap your hands on the side of your head to move your consciousness from your head down into your heart space. And then if you hold your hands on your heart, and what we want is a feeling of gratitude in the heart. So think of someone or something you're grateful for. It could be a beloved pet, it could be a family member, anything that you feel. It could even be our beloved community here. Anything that brings that feeling of gratitude. And then notice as you bring your awareness into that gratitude, how it grows, how it expands, how it gets bigger and more powerful, and as it overflows the heart. And that gratitude connects with love and ease as it fills our bodies. And then let's move our awareness down to our feet. And from our feet, let's feel deep into the earth. And we feel a connection. We feel on our way deep to the earth. We can feel the synapses at the very end of the universe, at the connection of the manifest and the unmanifest. Yes, thank you for that. The manifest to the unmanifest, between the divine and material, between the earth and the very cells of our bodies. And we feel this divine awareness coming up through the earth, back into our bodies, into our physical cells. And now if you put your hands on your belly, This is the location of our spiritual womb. So everybody, only half the people have a physical womb, but everybody has a spiritual womb. And this is the source of all ideas. This is the source of the divine. This is where the divine lives, according to many religions within us. It's the source of creativity, where your gut feelings come from. And we see infinite awareness into our womb, manifesting from eternity and infinity as our divine sacred essence right now. Right now, our divine sacred essence is in the womb space, and we're held in the flow. Ultimate creativity of pure presence, moment by moment. This is the space of our deepest identity, of our divine self that knows how to create from a pre-rational and trans-rational knowing, continually creating us in each moment. Sink into the ground of being here, the wellspring of your divine identity. Be held in this vital space. And now feel these roots of infinite awareness travel up to your heart from the womb, from the ground, manifesting from eternity and infinity as your divine loving right now. From your sacred heart, connect to the we space, where we can experience our interbeing as a shared we. Feel your connection to the we space, the all of us here, all of us in this room, all of us watching at home, all of us anytime we watch this can connect into this we space, because the we space is outside of space and time. This is the field beyond ideas of right doing and wrong doing. And now allow these roots of divine awareness, infinite awareness, to travel up to our mind space, manifesting from eternity and infinity as our divine mind in this now moment, into our head space. And we often will find our head space is remarkably clear and quiet, and we can rest in this vibrant stillness. And you can stay and rest in this clear stillness, or you can open a little door at the crown of your head and burst out to the roots of infinite awareness, spring forth and intertwine with the roots of all of creation, open to the transcendent beyond and its radiant mystery. And now let's allow our awareness to move back into our physical bodies from our we space, knowing that we are always part of this we space. We are always connected to infinite awareness. This is always part of us. And in our bodies, whenever you're ready, you can take a deep inhalation and open your eyes, returning to the here and now. So we know this is the space from which Rosa Parks went and could hold her ground through the bus incident and through starting the civil rights movement. This is the space that Mary Baker Eddy found at the age of 45 when she managed to cure the worst ailment of her life. Just through the sure knowledge, through her transformation and revelation that she was not just a body, she was infinite awareness contained in human form. And that we all are, and we all can do this. And she devoted her life to making sure as many people as possible knew this message and heard this message, including us. And so this is the world, and I think a reminder, let's just say it a couple more times together. Every aspect of life is a sacred expression of spirit. Every aspect of life is a sacred expression of spirit. Every aspect of life is a sacred expression of spirit. Okay, thank you so much. So I'm going to ask you now, we've got these cards, or if you're online, you can go onto the website to put there's opportunities for a prayer demonstration, and I encourage you, if you've had realized prayer, to write down your prayer demonstration, because that makes it more real. When you're in your weak moments, it will give you something concrete to hold on to, that you knew this prayer demonstration was real enough that you wrote it down. And the prayer demonstration, if you hand it in, it goes to our wonderful practitioners who will bathe it with powerful prayer. So it will be transformed and transmitted by our prayer. You can also pray for something. Anything you'd like, anything positive, anything negative, anything for you, anything for people you love, anything for the world. So take the opportunity to pray, to write down your prayer. And then as you finish writing down your prayer and your demonstration, we also realize there's a donation envelope in case you feel like putting your donation in the envelope. You can also donate electronically, and we'll find out more about that soon. Thank you.
I thought I did what's right. I thought I had the answers. I thought I chose the surest road. But that road brought me here. So I put up a fight. Told you how to help me. Now just when I had given up, the truth is coming clear. You know better than I. You know the way. I've let go the need to know why, for you know better than I. If this has been a test, I cannot see the reason, but maybe knowing I don't know is part of getting through. I try to do what's best, and faith has made it easy to see the best thing I can do is put my trust in you, for you know better than I. take what answers you supply. You know better than I.
Thank you. Thank you, Chris. All right. So our center is supported by God, and we welcome you to be a part of how God's support shows up. If you are on Facebook, please visit our website, genesiscsl.org. Or you can text your tithe to 206-800-7595. Let us take a moment to craft our financial gift. Okay, so we'll hold our prayer request and offering next to our heart as we say our offering blessing together. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive, and I am thankful. Okay, so now Gideon will now collect your offering and prayer cards. While we do this, please stand and sing, God is my source.
Oh, and I just turned that off.
Yes. We're going to sing to the music.
All right, so our blessing is on a feed, ever present, ever fed, ever flowing. And so I take this time right now to give thanks for this blessing that each of us has given our prayers to be taken in and enveloped and answered in perfect time, in perfect action, in perfect being, and knowing that each of us has put in our tithes, our pledges, our anything else we want to put in there, knowing that is the seed that grows and comes forth as Genesis, as this community, as a blessing to the world, and it is good. And I give great, great thanks, knowing that it's already happening, it's already in action, it's already perfect, and it is good. And I say thank you, God, and so it is.
So it is.
All right, so thanks for joining us today. Please join us after service for food and fellowship. Woo! Wishing everyone a week filled with joy, love, and true connections. Please stand and sing our closing song, I Release.
That's exactly what we're going to do.
What we're going to do.
We can do this a cappella too.